A beast has been awakened. It approacheth with fearsome steps.
Let's Welcome to the Dreams of Consciousness podcast. If you'd be so kind, would you mind introducing yourselves?
Hi, I'm John from Plague Weaver.
Hi, RM here, also Plague Weaver.
And how do you describe the music of Plague Weaver?
I think it will be easiest to describe as kind of a traditional black metal feel with a little bit of more modern doom or atmosphere aesthetic.
Yeah,
the discography definitely has a bit of evolution as well.
Yeah, but we kind of mixing death metal, doom metal, black metal into it, but mostly is old school black metal with doom elements.
Mm-hmm.
And where are you guys based?
Canada.
Ontario, Canada, yeah.
Radek, you formed the band in 2018. What were your goals originally?
Originally, I wanted to create something in vein of old school black metal like Varatron, Rotting Christ, Old Samuel, because this music I love this music. I always love this atmosphere in this music, and the only way to do it is to do by myself. So that's how it started. And then it was debut EP, then Through the Sulphur Eyes, and then JC and debut album.
And here we are.
Yeah.
Now, were you making music before that? Before you founded Plague Weaver?
Actually, yes, I did. I'm doing that from like 30 years. I mostly, because my background is Polish, so I came from Poland and I played in many Polish bands like Damnation, Azarath, Dark Legion, So my roots are death metal, but now I'm more black metal and doom.
I just interviewed Azarath. When did you play with them?
Many years ago, it was first demo when it was completely different lineup. So I played bass with Inferno, with Bruno on guitar that time, and D on the guitar. So it was kind of 20 years ago or 15, I don't remember.
In Plague Weaver, you were actually recording all the instruments yourself except the vocals. I'm curious why, on the 2020 EP, Through the Sulphur Eyes, you had a session vocalist with you. I'm curious why you play all the instruments but have somebody else do the vocals.
Because I don't feel as a vocalist, so it's better to do someone. And because, it was hard to find some person which I connect with, about music, about everything. So the best option was just use my friend. And that's why he happened as a session vocalist. And then I started looking for someone like to make a stable lineup and play live. But, COVID happened and, plans was changed, but, still with JC, we're trying to do something here. So yeah, probably after pandemic, we will expand lineup, we'll find guitarists and...
Yeah, so if I'm understanding what you're saying, it wasn't the intention for you to play all the instruments yourself.
No. I always prefer to have full band, play live, play gigs, everything. But because of a lack of possibilities, I started as solo because, I could everything by myself except the vocals. So it was, natural way to do it.
I can definitely speak to that as well. It makes sense. When you have a vision, if you can arrange everything yourself, why not? Right? So I totally agree. Sometimes it's difficult to coordinate multiple musicians, and there are times where solo work is the best way to realize a project. And I've definitely been down that road in the past myself. So, yeah.
So after your second EP, John joined the project. How did you two originally meet?
I just answered an ad for a band looking for a vocalist. I've been doing death metal and black metal vocals locally in my area for a few different bands for a while, and felt like it could be a good idea to join up or explore, someone looking to start a new project in the area, and stumbled on the ad.
And after I hear him it was no-brainer for me. It just blew up competition, so yeah, here we are.
John, were you familiar with Plague Weaver's music when you answered the ad?
Yes, I was. I recognize. I had already been familiar with Plague Weaver, as in just. I didn't realize who was behind it. I didn't realize it was a solo project at the time. I was just kind of scrolling through Bandcamp, looking for bands in my area, maybe that I hadn't heard of, listened and thought, wow, that was great. Didn't think too much more of it until I saw the ad and thought, yeah, I remember this band. They were good. And then, oh crap, it's one person. So yeah, I figured I had to get involved.
So there is actually a fair amount of mystery around the project. Is that intentional?
Yes and no, because, to be honest, I don't know. It just happened.
Yeah, that's fair. Maybe it's just the natural way we've been going about things, or prior to my arrival, Radic's been going about things. So it seems like...
for me, the music was always a priority. So probably that's why we are more focused on music than creating, buzz around us. And I don't know, maybe that's why.
Mm-hmm.
The acclaim, now in the sands. The sail
first full-length album is called Ascendant Blasphemy, and it will be out on February 26th of this year. Let's start with the writing process. How did this album come together?
Okay, so the writing process started when I created, because the music was almost done before JC joined, so he just kind of started working with existing tracks, but all like vocals, everything, it's completely his work. I just created kind of a frame for everything. So yeah, it was, and later there was many changes in tracks. So the final tracks are completely different than those demo tracks I had and I showed to JC, John.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we when I guess entered the picture, I guess you could call them the demos. The demos of the album the album's pretty much 80% completed, and then I start writing lyrics and arranging vocals. Once I start landing vocals on tracks, we fine-tune things, change some sections. That's usually the quote-unquote icing on the cake portion, where we can really find where the cadence of each track lies and find like how to make those parts shine, I guess. And then, yeah, Aram is correct in that there is a lot of change that happens by the time the tracks are completed. In a lot of ways, they probably don't resemble the original demos that we began with at all, other than familiar riffs, of course.
So, John, would you say that you had a large hand in the arrangements of the songs?
Yeah, I could say so. It does, I suppose, feel like it should be just, the final touches. You're just kind of landing the vocals. But once I start, I guess, trying to figure out how I want to do my part, then, of course, I want to change things. And I think, yeah, by the time we're done with it, it ends up being a little bit of a 50-50 split. Of course, if you can consider all of the instrumentation to be equal to my one part of vocals and us changing things. But I do feel like I affect the composition pretty deeply when trying to land my part of the job onto it, for sure.
Radek, how do you typically start a song? Do you start with the riffs?
Yeah, with riffs. I'm building everything around riffs and trying to make, I don't know, some progressions, everything, find out where it has to be slower, faster, to just keep this momentum of the song. You know what I mean? So yeah, so that's the way I'm doing.
Now, how would you compare the songs on the full length to the music on your previous EPs?
The Ascendant Blasphemy is a continuation of the music I did for the Sulphur Eyes. You can find many similarities, for example, the layering of vocals and everything. So it's pretty much the same atmosphere, everything, just, it's natural progression. So, it's hard to explain.
Yeah, I can second that. There are definitely, I think first of all, to an open listener, if you're presented with the information that this is a solo project, at least before my involvement, then understanding it to be a very riff-driven composition, I think is like pretty notable, pretty forefront in the composition, that this is a stringed instrument musician primarily. And there's some really great doomy sections on Through the Sulphur Eyes that you can hear similarities in riff composition with some of the slower, doomier songs on Ascendant Blasphemy as well. It's an evolution, right?
Yeah.
That's fair, I think. Yeah.
How long had you guys been working on the album?
When we started, like April, March?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you count like before I got involved, like when you started with demos, but it was around March that I got involved, yeah.
Yeah, so I started last year. So, I mean, not right before release of Through the Sulphur Eyes, because I already have like a couple riffs, like half finished songs and everything. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So the work was like 2019, the beginning of that.
I'm curious why, since you already had the beginnings of some of these songs when you were doing the previous EP, why did you release an EP first before the album?
To be honest, because debut album has to be like real deal, you know what I mean. So this EP, I felt that it's not we can do, or not I can do, like I can do better. So I had some, like I could maybe postpone a bit, release this EP, add a couple songs which are finally came in Ascendant Blasphemy, but with session vocalist, it doesn't make sense to like release debut album as so yeah, so that's why I decided let's go with EP and then find someone for vocalist position, find stable lineup, and then use those songs, the new songs, and make, I hope, good release to make it great debut album, or let's put it that way.
Tell me about the recording of the album, because I understand you recorded this yourself.
You mean recording process? I mean engineering, everything, like mastering.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, everything I did by myself. Recorded of guitars, bass. I did mastering, mixing, recorded John's vocals, like literally everything. So final product you can hear, it's my work. Let's put it that way. I mean, from engineering side.
Yeah, you're getting an album written, performed, recorded, engineered by Plague Weaver exclusively.
Yeah.
I guess is the best way to put it, between the two of us, and more on his side, for sure.
And the drums are programmed?
Unfortunately, yes, because first of all, we have times then really hard it's to jam with someone, work with someone, because of all those restrictions, lockdowns, everything. It's real pain in the ass to do something. And the second thing, we just don't want to wait until we find someone, and then we will go with him. He will learn the songs and everything. Let's say it would take like 1 year or so. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
It was pointless to wait. So I tried my best to make it sound, I don't know, nice, but we will see.
In general, do you prefer the sound of a live drummer?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's why I'm looking for a full lineup. That was my plan at the beginning.
With the inclusion of additional members, do you expect that your songwriting process will change?
We will see. It's hard to predict. Everything depends on the attitude of new people, if they want to.
Yeah, I totally agree. It is pretty difficult to sway someone's creative input, unless, of course, you're using someone purely for session or touring, like live musician. I would say anyone who joins the project and takes ownership, I mean, in anything I've been a part of, has a certain degree of creative input that, can't be avoided. It's just important to find the right people and, make sure you're all on the same page, and then you end up surprising each other and complimenting each other instead of the alternative, which is not preferable.
Now, having written and arranged most of the music yourself, Radek, are you open to collaboration and to the input of other people?
Yes, of course, because sometimes it's hard because, for example, I'm creating some riff and I will be never sure if it's a good riff or bad riff, because okay, I like it, but I really can use input of someone like involved also feeling the same way. So yeah, definitely I can collaborate with someone, but still the problem is I think the Plague Weaver we're trying to create our own like sound and everything, like music. So everything has to fit in it, you know what I mean? Because we already have it, it's our third release, so we have a kind of track of our, you know, like couple songs was created, and it would be really nice if everything stay in this path, you know what I mean?
John, is there anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, just to reiterate, you know, the previous question, what we were talking about. I think Plague Weaver is an established sound. There is a definite, unique Plague Weaver sound, tone, atmosphere. And of course, it's a little bit of give and take. Anybody else or any other influencing force that comes in, like I said, we hope we are all on the same page and we have ideas that might surprise each other but are still in the vein of what we're all looking for. There is a vision. It's broad, but it does have borders, I guess we could say.
Yeah.
Like we know what we're looking for, and there's wiggle room, of course, for collaboration and other people to get involved, but there is, you know, a specific, I guess, range of what we would like to sound like. Yeah.
approaching the beginning of year 2 of this pandemic, and it's hard to make any predictions or plans, long-term plans at least. But for you guys, once the album is out, what would you like to accomplish after that?
I think we're definitely looking for a lineup so that we can prepare for live performances when that option becomes available. It's difficult to say what the state of our area will be in terms of progress made with case numbers and regulations changing, lockdowns being lifted, etc. So I think the goal is to release a kick-ass album and get a lineup and play it live as soon as we're able.
Yeah, and then we will see what happens.
Yeah.
If there will be still a problem, then probably we will start work on something new, because what you can do now?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. If we don't have the option to play live and time passes, I'm sure we'll just end up writing the next one.
Is the live aspect very important for you guys?
For me, yes. Yes.
For me as well. I agree.
Can you tell me why?
I think there are a few reasons. It's difficult, I guess, to be spend so much time creating something and not want to perform it unless there is another reason, something bigger hindering you from doing that. In my case, there isn't, and it's almost as if this is music to me made to be performed. I feel that if I wanted to create something that would only exist in studio, in your phone, on your Spotify, in your little screen, then I probably would want to use instruments more unconventional than ones that could be easily set up and played in a venue. And it does go further to say that black metal is a music of emotion. It's a music of soul, to borrow that phrase. And sometimes that needs to be conveyed live. It's great to capture what you're trying to deliver on a recording, but I'd also really like to pack a venue and deliver all of that in a live setting as well.
For me, our music, it's meant to be played live, to be honest, because if you will hear, there is a lot of I can compare for Old Samael, from first to last track, everything, it's great live. You can't feel the same energy listening this from CDs. So, yeah.
So you did make mention of your area. Is finding musicians to collaborate with or even putting together a live lineup going to be challenging for you guys?
I personally don't think it will be. We are in southeastern Ontario and in the peripheral of some very populated areas. I'm sure our area is rife with musicians waiting to work on something together. Just needs to be the right time. I can't imagine anyone is too excited about meeting new people at a time like this. So definitely we need time to pass and circumstance to change in order to cast that net, I suppose. I can't imagine it would take long, as we'd probably be finding people who are also in multiple bands or doing other projects and just want to be a part of something else.
Probably this album could look completely different without pandemic, because probably it would be the full lineup, live drums, everything completely different, So yeah, but you can't change anything. No.
I mean, somewhere in a 5 or 10 mile radius of you guys, there's got to be a black metal drummer who's driving his roommates crazy, just tapping on everything within reach, right?
Yes. I think so, for sure.
And once you guys have a lineup put together, will you be looking to tour?
That could be a very feasible next step if the opportunity presents itself and we're able, and obviously everyone in the lineup is able. Can't imagine, tours being viable for at least a little while of things easing up. That requires promoters with plans secure enough to not be canceled or lose. And why would you, go through that if you weren't certain?
No, everything is so uncertain here, so you just can't predict, and it's just better to wait and just we will see what happens, because
Absolutely.
you can't make plans now.
Fair enough. So, the name of the first full-length Plague Weaver album is called Ascendant Blasphemy, and it will be out on February 26th of 2021. John and Radek, what is the best way for people to get this album?
I would say Bandcamp, plagueweaver.bandcamp.com.
Yeah. Also, we plan to release by Spotify, Apple Music, and all other streaming services. It will be CD to buy. So yeah, many ways to listen.
So tell me about the physical releases. Are you doing anything in addition to the CDs?
So far, we are looking at jewel case CD release. We have plans for, maybe an additional physical media and other forms of merchandise in the future, pending the album release. But for the initial release date, we will have limited number of CD units for sale and pre-order, obviously, leading up to the date.
Now, am I correct in saying that you guys are self-releasing this album?
Yes.
Yes.
So the pre-orders are extremely important in terms of getting your capital back, I guess.
Yeah.
There's probably a more elegant way that I can phrase that.
Yeah, you definitely could say that. However, either way, right, the units are going to be up there, and I think we're pretty confident that we will likely get within a small number of pre-orders, and eventually we'll sell through our initial package.
Now, if people want to follow Plague Weaver online, how can they do that?
You can find us on Facebook, Bandcamp, YouTube. Like Radek said, all of your available streaming services, Apple Music, Spotify, Twitter.
Even Instagram, I'm not caring that much about that, so yeah, but still.
I think main updates is YouTube and Facebook and Bandcamp likely. And music on all streaming services.
Now, when you say YouTube, what are you guys putting up on YouTube? Are you creating videos in tandem with your music?
Yes, we have no choice.
Yeah,
no
absolutely.
live performances so far. So yeah, that's why we're creating videos and everything. Hopefully, we will play live, and then everything will be filled with our videos from live videos.
So what are the videos that are on your YouTube right now?
You can find existing stuff from the Plague Weaver discography. Through the Sulphur Eyes is up there, and we have our first track, which was released earlier this year, Nothing is Sacred. The lyric video for that is up there, and anything pending, I guess, is also going to go up there. It's like Radek said, it's kind of impossible to not have a presence on YouTube. I find a lot of new music in the YouTube rabbit hole, so why not? Yeah.
Is there anything else you guys want to say?
Well, I think that's it. We've covered it all in terms of the album. See you on February 26th with Ascendant Blasphemy.
Great. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Boom, boom, boom. Are we paying the price for our hubris of science?